ago, even we talked about it.
He's in 2 years.
My son ain't said
his
no lie
name's
like
not even
that.
on the
Stop
birth
lying.
certificate.
Stop lying.
Okay.
Whose name is on the birth certificate? Do you know?
Nobody's.
Exactly,
because he went.
It can be
He was not
anybody.
there
It
when
can
he
be-
was
it can be
born.
anybody.
So wait, you're
So why
in
you
this
ain't call me during
relationship.
the
No,
prank?
wait a minute. You're in a relationship, living at his mother's house.
With him, yes.
He thinks you all are boyfriend and girlfriend.
No, Your Honor, he doesn't think. He had a whole nother girlfriend out of town. He wanted to play house here and there and have us in a polygamous relationship, which he don't got it like.
Posting things about Miss Lust, this young girl, on Facebook.
She inboxed me, and me and her went back and forth on Facebook.
You're absolutely. But what led up to that, Miss Page? What led up to that, Miss Page?
Case 1. The courtroom was on edge as Judge Lauren Lake presided over the fiery case of Lusk versus Page. This wasn't your everyday paternity dispute. It was two women going head-to-head, each determined to prove their truth about a child's father. Sparks were bound to fly.
Mothers say you have no doubt whatsoever when it comes to knowing who your 3-year-old daughter, Samari's biological father is.
Yes, Your Honor.
Unfortunately, the man you claim is her father has died, and now you find yourself facing off against his mother.
The twist? The alleged father, Mr. Page, is no longer alive. His death left behind more questions than answers, especially since Ms. Lusk was only 16 when she claimed he fathered her child. That detail alone already stirred tension in the courtroom.
Describe to the court how difficult this situation has been for you and your daughter.
It's been more than extremely difficult being pregnant at 16, having to still go through school. These past 4 years, everything has been on me and my mother, and I feel it's completely unfair because he has a whole other side. She has a whole other side to her family.
Now, 4 years later, little Samari Page is at the center of the storm. Miss Page, the grandmother, is convinced that Ms. Lusk and her mother are only trying to latch onto her finances. To her, this battle is more about money than blood.
I had insurance on
What
my
money?
son. I had an insurance policy. They're out for
That we
money.
knew nothing about.
Let her
That we
speak.
knew nothing about.
Unless it's proven it's not my son's
You
baby.
never posted
I knew
it on
anything
Facebook.
about
Miss
Miss
Lusk,
Lusk. Knew nothing about her.
You said you have an insurance policy.
Yes, Your Honor.
And so this insurance policy.
But things shifted quickly. Miss Page insisted she had never even heard of Ms. Lusk until her son passed away. Yet, Ms. Lusk reminded her of a rather awkward incident Miss Page had apparently walked in on the two during an intimate moment. Talk about shocking the court.
My first time meeting you, Miss Page. Her exact words were, "You look like his type. You're very pretty, very small."
Miss Lusk
And
and
she
Miss
said
Anderson,
the
my
same
son didn't
thing.
have a particular type. He was in a relationship.
Miss Page, you're saying your son was in a relationship with a different woman, a long-term relationship.
Yes.
From there, the drama only intensified. Miss Page made jaw-dropping claims about how she found out regarding her son's alleged child. Each revelation seemed to confuse Judge Lake further as the story unraveled in directions no one expected.
You said you had never seen her before until you went to her school.
Yes, Your Honor.
How did you get the news that she potentially was pregnant?
Well, I'm thinking that someone told me via Facebook or something like that.
No, ma'am.
So please respond, Miss Anderson. How do you know what happened?
I contacted Miss Page.
If Mr. Page could see what was unfolding, he would surely be restless in his grave. A young mother, a determined grandmother, and the shadow of his past choices all clashing in one explosive courtroom session. The whole ordeal felt like something straight out of a soap opera.
Where I can't post comments. And I don't slander her on my Facebook. Not once have I ever said anything
never
bad
said
about
anything
this
about
woman.
Miss Page, are you posting things about Miss Lusk, this young girl, on Facebook?
She inboxed me, and me and her went back and forth on Facebook.
You're absolutely. But what led up to that, Miss Page? What led up to that, Miss Page?
And the root of this chaos? Believe it or not, Facebook. Apparently, that platform became the battleground where grudges and suspicions festered. Judge Lake couldn't help but point out how social media turned what should have been private family matters into public fireworks.
Samari was born. Did you allow Miss Page the opportunity to see her? Did you say the baby's here now? If
No,
you'd like
ma'am.
to.
Because prior to that, we were already where she was on Facebook saying, "You need to have your daughter find the baby's daddy. My son is not it."
The judge sternly reminded both women that their feud wasn't helping little Samari. Dragging a child's paternity onto Facebook was never the answer. Instead of tearing each other apart, they needed to focus on clarity, not chaos.
The animosity you all have built up, that is because you've handled the situation inappropriately. A situation this delicate, it'll never need to play out on a Facebook. Miss Page, I want to understand from you. Have you tried to ask some of Desmond's friends, maybe some of your other family members?
At the end of the day, the truth had to come out. With tension so high, the DNA results were the only thing that could settle this once and for all. Everyone leaned in, waiting for the verdict that could either mend or completely shatter what little trust remained.
In the case of Lusk versus Page, when it comes to 3-year-old Samari Page, it has been determined by this court. The probability of relatedness between Miss Page and Samari Page is 99.96%.
Case 2, the courtroom lit up with tension as Miss Foster confronted her ex-boyfriend, Mr. Jackson. She claimed they had planned the pregnancy together, but when the baby came, he vanished. To make matters worse, he flat out denied being the father.
Jackson, you say Miss Foster cheated on you multiple times during your relationship, and there is no way you are Ja'Kiah's father. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Miss Foster, tell us, why do you need to open your case?
I'm opening this case today because, Your Honor, I have a 1-year-old child who we plan on having.
Mr. Jackson's bold attitude only fueled the fire. He bragged about what he could and couldn't do, yet dodged the real responsibility. If he couldn't handle fatherhood, maybe he should have thought twice before jumping into bed.
This relationship even start?
Ma'am, Your Honor, this relationship started through social media. We found each other through Facebook.
Social media, I should have known. No wonder we talking about social media. Okay, go ahead.
We found each other through social media, so we had a mutual friend. They vouched for him, said he was a good person, so we jumped into a relationship. I had my first child, and he did come bring us to his mother's house.
But Miss Foster's story raised eyebrows too. Some suspected Mr. Jackson had ulterior motives. Rumors swirled about an inheritance waiting for him if he had a child. Still, the man sitting in court didn't look eager to take care of anyone's baby.
And together, he told me I was going to be his baby's mother, because I'm the best mother in the world. That's why he said it.
Actually.
Facts.
No.
Facts, Your Honor.
No.
I am the best mother in the world. And he can't say anything because he hasn't even stepped up to be even a stepdad.
But the man that she had dropping her off at my house.
Despite the drama, at one point, it seemed like these two had real chemistry. They looked like a perfect match who once shared genuine love. Sadly, it's their little daughter caught in the middle of a chaotic fight neither parent seems ready to handle.
So wait, you're in this relationship. No, wait a minute. You're in a relationship living at his mother's house.
With him, yes.
He thinks you all are boyfriend and girlfriend.
No, Your Honor, he doesn't think. He had a whole nother girlfriend out of town. He wanted to play house here and there and have us in a polygamous relationship, which he don't got it like.
Things got messier when accusations of multiple partners entered the conversation. Miss Foster was painted as juggling more than one relationship, which threw paternity into question. Suddenly, Mr. Jackson didn't look like the only one with issues.
Foster, I want you to take me to the day you found out you were pregnant.
I fell to the floor. I did 3 rolls around the floor in the doctor's office because I wasn't having no kids if I'm finna be a single mother to 2 children by myself. I'm 20. It's not happening. So, at that point, I told Marquise because Marquise was there.
Excuses flew left and right. Miss Foster claimed Mr. Jackson was out of town, but that explanation only confused matters. Phone still worked, and communication was possible. Their stories began to sound more like entertainment than truth.
You know you sleeping with 2 guys. Why are you just bringing Mr. Jackson to court?
I went to the doctor's office. They gave me the conception calendar. I got pregnant February 21st. That's the same day you left. So that week and that week before, I had a menstrual period. We're sleeping together the entire time.
As the back and forth continued, Miss Foster demanded that Mr. Jackson step up, but Judge Lake reminded her no, man will claim a child if there's doubt about whether he's the father. Trust and clarity had to come before responsibility.
Me going to medical school, I kind of know what I'm talking about as far as the female reproductive system.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
yes,
I wish you would have known so much about what you was talking about that you would have known who your child's father was.
Emotions ran high as Judge Lake pressed Miss Foster about her decisions. Sleeping with 2 men at the same time only deepened the confusion. The courtroom grew tense as the weight of her choices came crashing down.
I'm woman myself, so I really don't need a man to do anything for me or my children. However, it's not fair to her to grow up with only 1 parent in the household and she has 2. I didn't make her by myself. We made her together. So therefore, step up. I don't care what you got going in your life because she asked to be here.
Finally, all eyes turned to the DNA results. Mr. Jackson leaned forward, eager to hear the final words that would seal his fate. The truth was about to break free and nothing could stop it.
Case of Foster versus Jackson. When it comes to Ja'Kiah, it has been determined by this court. Mr. Jackson, you are not the father.
Case 3 in Judge Lake's courtroom, Mr. Kidd came out swinging, calling Ms. Rawlings a manipulator who used him. That's a serious accusation, especially since the two once shared good times together. So, what went wrong between them?
Ms. Rawlings is a manipulative user who convinced you that you were the father of her son, Nathaniel, then changed her mind when someone better came along. You and your mother say Ms. Rawlings' mind games have wreaked emotional havoc on your family, and you are 100% positive.
Ms. Rawlings fired back, claiming Mr. Kadand, even his mother, had no business fighting for baby Nathaniel's paternity. She insisted he wasn't fit for the role of father, which raised more eyebrows than answered.
Fully aware he is not Nathaniel's father, as he himself told you he cannot have children. You say Mr. Rawlings and his mother are two desperate people who convinced themselves Mr. Kidd is your son's father, and you intend to prove them wrong today. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
But here's the twist, Mr. Kidd wasn't backing down. He and his mother strongly believed Nathaniel was his child, pointing out that his involvement was more than enough proof. To them, there was no denying his connection.
Kidd, why are you so convinced you are Nathaniel's father?
Well, Your Honor, when this first started off, she came to me and told me that he was mine. She was sending me letters when I was gone.
And so you were away when she found out she was pregnant?
I was away about a month after. I went away a month after she found out she was pregnant.
Okay.
The problem? Ms. Rawlings claimed otherwise. She suggested Nathaniel belonged to another man entirely. Yet, how could she say that when she was romantically involved with Mr. Kidd at the same time?
With this man like?
We were in a serious relationship, and I was actually at some point, once I left from being around Mr. Kidd, that I was actually staying with him.
So how often were you with Mr. Kidd, and how often were you with the other guy?
Pretty much going back and forth because...
The back and forth left Judge Lake scrambling to piece the puzzle together. Ms. Rawlings admitted to seeing another man, but questions remain. Did she ever tell the supposed other man he was the father?
Did you tell him, Ms. Rawlings, that he was Nathaniel's biological father?
No, ma'am.
You never told him that?
No, ma'am.
You just told him you were pregnant, and then somehow he assumed he was the father?
When I found out I was pregnant, Mr. Kidd told me himself that he had some type of rare form blood disease, and that me and him...
Their courtroom behavior didn't help. They avoided eye contact, as if forgetting the intimacy they once shared. On top of that, Ms. Rawlings implied Mr. Kidd wasn't capable of fathering a child, something that sounded more like an insult than fact.
Ever tell Ms. Rawlings you didn't believe you could have children?
Yes, ma'am. I informed her of the situation because I'm typically in a long-term relationship. I've never had any kind of hiccups, any thinking that they might be pregnant, any slip-ups, no.
You've never gotten anyone pregnant?
Mr. Kidd, on his part, argued that just because he had never gotten anyone pregnant before didn't mean he never could. So, if he believed he wasn't capable, why suddenly claim Nathaniel as his? The contradictions kept stacking up.
Both my babies.
And when you look at these pictures, what do you see?
My son.
Your son on the left, and that's Nathaniel on the right. And you really believe, as you look at those pictures, that's your grandson. And as we take a look at the second picture, it's Mr. Kidd as a teen.
Meanwhile, his mother, Ms. Jenkins, insisted Nathaniel looked like her son. But resemblance alone doesn't prove paternity. Until a DNA test confirmed it, everything remained a coin toss 50/50 at best.
Did the other guy, the other potential father, did he ever acknowledge that he could be the father or express interest in being in Nathaniel's life?
Yes, he did, because he was the one that actually told me to get a test to see if I was pregnant. And me and him were sick together. And he actually reached back out to me because he had some other situations going on.
At last, Judge Lake cut through the noise. This wasn't about looks or arguments. It was about facts. The DNA test would decide everything, whether Miss Rawlings would have to accept Miss Jenkins as Nathaniel's grandmother or walk away from the family once and for all.
Versus Rawlings. When it comes to 10-month-old Nathaniel Rawlings, it has been determined by this court. Mr. Kidd, you are the father.
Case 4 caught in the middle of a courtroom storm. Mr. Hughes found himself torn between his ex-girlfriend and his own mother. That's a nightmare no man wants to face. Yet here he was, standing before Judge Lake. The tension was off the charts.
You say you're stuck between your mother and your ex-girlfriend who are in a heated dispute in court today. Ms. McBirth, you petitioned the court for a DNA test to prove your son, Kakitho Hughes, is not the father of Miss Jackson's 2-year-old son, Elijah Jackson. Furthermore,
Miss Jackson, the child's mother, firmly believed Mr. Hughes was the father of her baby. But his mother, Miss MC Birth, wasn't having it. She openly rejected the claim, almost as if she was blind to her son's actions behind closed doors.
you say Ms. McBirth has been poisoning her son by convincing him he's not the biological father of your child. You claim the timing does add up, and today's paternity test will prove you right.
Accusations of manipulation began to fly. Miss Jackson hinted that Mr. Hughes' mother was poisoning his thoughts, trying to convince him the child wasn't his. But let's be real, Mr. Hughes was old enough to know exactly who he'd been with.
Berth, why do you believe your son's not the father?
This woman is trouble. She is trouble with a capital T. She, as a matter of fact, I call her the 3 T's. Trash, trouble, and trifling. That's what she is. The little boy looks nothing like my son or any member of my family at all. Can I show it? Can I?
Absolutely, ma'am. What did you bring?
Miss MC Berth clung to appearances, arguing the baby didn't look like her family. But genes don't work like paint on a canvas. Just because Elijah's complexion resembled his mother didn't erase the possibility of Hughes being the father.
This DNA right here has been in our life. She's never was a girlfriend. You are a vampire. You are just a fly-by-night. We didn't know anything about you. He's been in a relationship for 10 years. So
Mr. Hughes has.
10 years.
In 10 years.
Babies
he's been
by another
for 2
woman,
years,
and
for
those
10 years.
are my grandchildren.
For 10 years. So all she basically was for him was a snack cake on the side of his meal.
Judge Lake made it clear Miss MC Berth couldn't speak as if she were in the bedroom with them. Mr. Hughes knew what happened with Miss Jackson, and from the way things looked, he wasn't even against accepting the child.
Of course, state the obvious, which I'm hoping you know as well, being African American. You know our children come in all colors, shades.
Elijah
she told me he wasn't
white.
Still, Hughes sat quiet, jittery, almost afraid to go against his mother's wishes. Miss Jackson grew frustrated, wanting him to step up and acknowledge the child, instead of letting family pressure silence him. His hesitation spoke volume.
He'd been trying to change the name a couple weeks ago, even we talked about it.
He's two years.
My son ain't said
his
no lie
name's
like
not even
that.
on the
Stop
birth
lying.
certificate.
Stop lying.
Okay.
Whose name is on the birth certificate? Do you know?
Nobody's.
Exactly,
because he went.
It could
He
be
was not
anybody.
there when
It
he
could
was
be- it could be
born.
Ms. NC Berth and her daughter even went as far as acting like Miss Jackson tricked Hughes into fatherhood. But that narrative didn't add up. Judge Lake herself reminded them that biracial children can take after either parent and skin tone.
Brother is sleeping with her and not using protection. Couldn't he possibly be Elijah's father?
You know
No,
what?
not in this case.
Like the
No,
old saying goes,
no.
mama's baby, papa's maybe.
Maybe. That's my point.
The irony? Miss MC Berth admitted her own child came out looking different due to mixed genes, but she still refused to apply that same logic to her grandson. The double standard was glaring, and Judge Lake wasn't letting it slide.
You are Elijah's father.
I just gave him the benefit of the doubt because I'm biracial. My father's white, you know.
My son, okay?
Man.
She got men's coming and going in and out of her house.
My
We
father's
don't
a
know.
brown-haired, blue-eyed dude, so.
How you know? He just gonna say that
blue
because, she gonna freak him after this.
Yeah.
So now, wait a minute. You're accusing your brother of not having...
In the end, the back and forth meant nothing without evidence. Everyone's emotions were running wild, but all eyes fell on one thing: the DNA test. That piece of paper would silence the arguments and finally reveal the truth about Elijah's father.
2-year-old Elijah Jackson. And whether Mr. Hughes is the father, Mr. Hughes, you are Elijah.
Case 5, Mr. Johnson swore up and down that there was no way he fathered the 2-year-old in question. His reasoning? The mother was just a fling. But as we all know, flings can bring more than just fun, they can bring responsibility.
Johnson, you admit you engaged in a sexual relationship with the defendant while you were traveling for work. A mere because you say Ms. Walters is a shady manipulator. Is that correct?
Let's rewind. Johnson met Miss Walters, and within 3 days, the two were already in bed together. Quick move? Yes, but those quick moves also left the door wide open for the possibility of a child. And that's exactly why we're here.
One day I told her I was going on lunch. We ended up going back to the room. Her wedding ring fell out of her pocket. Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yes, ma'am. And I left it on the nightstand.
Now here's where it gets messy. Miss Walters, a married woman at the time, is the one dragging Johnson to court. She claims he's the real father of her child, and things only spiral further from there.
Was Mr. Johnson the only man you were dating at this time?
Nope, because every time I was in the car with her, she was telling me to hush up. See, that's what she didn't know.
Okay.
And I had a whole girlfriend. Those, you know what I'm saying? She getting money from folks and stuff. That's why, you know what I'm saying?
Johnson, on the other hand, seems to be juggling more than one relationship himself. A girlfriend, a wife, and now possibly a child on the way. It's like he was running a side business in drama, and it finally caught up with him.
She called me or whatever, and she said she was pregnant. I told her congratulations. And she was like, why would I not use protection?
Your Honor, I called Mr. Johnson after I spoke with my ex.
Of course, Johnson argued that he always used protection with Miss Walters. He insisted there was no chance the baby was his. Walters disagreed, saying there was still a possibility and adding that Johnson vanished during her pregnancy didn't help his case.
When I informed him that I was giving birth.
I thought about it. I mean, yeah, I thought about it.
Oh, she's a beautiful little girl.
And just when you think you've heard enough, Johnson tossed another man into the mix. According to him, there was a third guy who could have been the father. But Walters shut that down quickly, revealing a DNA test and already cleared that man.
A whole dude, 3 years ago.
Okay, three years ago. Went digging in old Facebook photos and screenshotting old pictures.
So where does that leave us? Johnson was definitely around during the window of conception. If he really didn't use protection, or if something went wrong, it's more than possible, the baby could be his. The timeline lines up a little too neatly.
Follow-up appointment, they put my date of conception as around between December 2nd and on December 5th, we were at my house drinking tequila and partying.
And so you remember the date specifically?
On the surface, this case looks straightforward. A fling, the right timing, and no other viable candidates. But if there's one thing Judge Lake's court has proven, it's that what seems obvious doesn't always end up being the truth.
To her. If he felt like that my daughter was not his, why do you feel the need to reach out? Why do you feel the need to text me and say, oh, how's the princess? Never one time said, Amir is not my child to me.
And that's why we wait for the DNA results. Johnson's confidence may crumble, or Walter's claim may fall apart. Either way, the truth is about to come OTAN. No one can hide from science.
It has been determined by this court. You are not the father.